Did anybody see that catch by Kelvin Benjamin last night? Oh, he's going to be a beast. I don't put too much stock in the preseason, but man, that was a catch. It's your boy Brian Cotton. I'm going to keep pounding today because it's preseason. The Panthers lost. Who cares? They had some big plays. It's not indicative. Cam Newton didn't even play that game last night. But anyway, game-by-game predictions. I'm going to have to go quick because there's a lot of games, and I don't want to make this a 30-minute video about what I think the Panthers are going to do. But anyway, I will say that I think the Panthers will be a lot better. I got this new job at Airmark, kind of like data entry. I kind of pull a check and just apply it where it's supposed to be applied to, and I have to figure out where it's supposed to go. But it's a call center, and I get to sit and listen to ESPN radio at my little cubicle all day, and it's been bad because my blood pressure is just boiled so bad. People hating on this team. They talk more about how bad the Panthers are going to be than they talk about Michael Sam, and I didn't even know that was possible. But anyway, here we go. Game-by-game picks. First up, we got at Tampa Bay. First game. Everybody knows how I feel about Tampa Bay. Carolina's got that win. It'll probably be a close game. It'll be the home opener for Tampa Bay. Lovie Smith's first game. They'll give the Panthers a game. It'll be like a 20-17 type of game, I think. But Carolina's got it. The Lions, I think Carolina wins their second game against the Lions. Megatron's going to make plays, but I think Carolina, they'll make enough plays to win that game. Steelers, I got Carolina winning against the Steelers. Got the Panthers going 3-0 start out this season. I think Big Ben's going to make that mistake, and the Panthers are going to capitalize on it. So I got them winning against the Steelers. Tough, hard-nosed football game on Sunday night. It would be an old-school game, but I think Carolina's got that win, put them at 3-0. At the Ravens, I think the Ravens will hand the Panthers their first loss this season. Not because of Steve Smith. I don't think Steve Smith's going to have much to say about that. Much to say as far as stats. He'll be running his mouth though. But I think Joe Flacco at home. I think the Ravens are going to be a lot better than they were last year. I think they'll hand the Panthers their first loss of the season. As much as I don't want to say that. The Bears. This is one that I was stuck on. I put on Facebook. I said I think the Panthers will go 10-6. This is the game that I was kind of iffy about because they got Alshon Jeffrey, they've got Brandon Marshall, they've got Jay Cutler coming back. But you know what? I've changed my mind on this game. I think Carolina is going to win. I don't think they're going to lose 2 games in a row. They're going to come back home. Jay Cutler's going to make that mistake, and Carolina's going to get that win. So, that'll put our Panthers at 4-1. Bengals, I'm going to this game. I'm going to be in attendance. All my Cincinnati friends. You want to see Cam Newton? This is your chance. 8 years from now, nobody knows if Cam Newton's even going to be still playing. The NFL stands for not for long. So you want a chance to see Cam Newton in his prime? You better join me for this game. And you know what? I'm going to drive home. That hour-and-a-half drive is going to be a happy one for me. Back to Lexington, Kentucky. Carolina gets that win. Packers, at Packers, Carolina. Nah, it's hard to beat Green Bay at home, especially with Aaron Rodgers back. I just don't see any way that Carolina can win that game. It'll be close, but it's hard. It's just hard to win at Green Bay. I got Green Bay winning that one. Seattle, I'm excited about this game. The last 2 times this is the 3rd year in a row they've played in Charlotte. The first game in 2012, it was 16-12. It was 12-7 last year. I think this year Carolina's going to make that play. D'Angelo Williams isn't going to fumble inside the 10-yard line this year. I think Carolina's going to make that play to win. They've been 1 play away the last 2 years. I think they make that play. I think Kelvin Benjamin makes that play. Carolina wins that game. And I think Seattle. They're still going to be good. They're still going to be tough, but I think they're going to kind of slip a little bit this year. I'm not saying they're not going to be a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to be 14-2 or 13-3 or whatever they did last year. I think they're going to slip a little bit. So I got Carolina winning that game. God, and then we got the Saints the next week on Thursday Night Football. Saints are going to win that game. At the Eagles, Monday Night Football. This is another primetime game. I don't like Chip Kelly, and I don't like the Eagles, but it's going to be hard to beat them on their home field on a Monday Night Football game. I got the Eagles winning that game. I hate doing these predictions. When the season starts, you know that I'm going to pick the Panthers to win these games, right? Just so we know, I'm going to pick the Panthers to win these games when the season starts. But since I'm doing game by game predictions, I can't pick the Panthers to go 16-0. So they're going to lose 2 games in a row there, and I just hate to say that. Falcons the next week. The Falcons were at home against the Falcons. I think the Falcons will be a better team than what they've been last year. Obviously, they're going to have Julio Jones back. I think they got a little bit better on defense. But at the end of the day, Carolina at home, they're not going to lose this game. Carolina gets to win there. Minnesota, Carolina wins. At New Orleans. I don't even know why they're even gonna go and play them at New Orleans. Because don't nobody win except New Orleans in that Superdome. And I just hate. My skin is crawling right now because I'm picking the Saints to sweep the Panthers this year. Saints win that game. Tampa Bay. Carolina's going to win. It's going to be a home game. They're going to be pissed off about that loss at New Orleans. Tampa Bay, this is going to be about the time, end of the season, where they've done figured out that McCown is a mediocre quarterback and Mike Glennon is going to be the starter for this game, and it's not going to matter because Carolina, they've got this win. They're going to win that game. Cleveland, sorry, Tim Bussey. Carolina's going to win. Finally, at Atlanta. Now, this is going to be a game where Carolina's fighting for playoff positioning, possibly playing for the NFC South. I think at this point, Atlanta's made a good run at it, but Atlanta's going to be playing for respectability. Carolina's going to be playing, challenging the Saints for the NFC South title, I think, by the time this game comes around. And I think Carolina's going to get it done. Usually when you've got a game like that, when it's one team's playing for respectability, the other team's playing for a playoff spot or a chance to win their division, usually it's the team playing for the playoff spot. So yeah, I've got Carolina winning that game, putting them at 11-5. Is that enough to win the NFC South? I don't know. I don't know what New Orleans is going to. Probably New Orleans will win the NFC South because they will have that tiebreaker. If what I picked happens, which I hope I'm wrong. I hope Carolina sweeps the Saints this year. But I got Carolina going 11-5. I had them going 10-6 because I had them losing to the Bears. But the more I thought about it, I was like, Jay Cutler, man, he's going to make that mistake. He's going to make that mistake, and it's going to be a close game. All these games are going to be close, except maybe at New Orleans. And I hate saying that. Because New Orleans, there's just something in the water there in New Orleans. And that's Superdome. But that might be the only blowout that I can see. I don't see any. Maybe at Green Bay. Green Bay might put a hurting on Carolina. But their defense is so bad that I just don't see it happening. See, the thing about the Saints is their defense is actually pretty good. And if you get behind on them, it's over. So the only blowout I can see possibly happening is at New Orleans. That's the only blowout out of all these that I could see. They're all going to be close. Carolina's defense is going to keep them in the game. Just to touch on a couple of things real quick, I think people, once again, are overblowing this wide receiver situation. Because if they really sat down and really looked at what the Panthers lost as their wide receivers, they would say, well, that ain't really a big deal that they lost Brandon LaFell or Ted Ginn or a 35-year-old Steve Smith. I think Ed Dixon coming in, they're going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets, and Cam Newton ate those up as a rookie. That was his best year statistically wise, and he's just going to eat them up again. And the secondary, that people are complaining about the secondary on ESPN radio. That's all I hear is that they lost 3/4 of their secondary. They lost Captain Munnerlyn, Mike Mitchell, and Quentin Michael. Captain Munnerlyn's 5'6" or something ridiculous. I like Captain's fire in his heart, but losing him ain't that big a deal. Mike Mitchell, he was a career backup over there in Oakland. There was a reason Carolina got him for a 1-year deal at league minimum, and that's because that front seven made those two guys look good. So, I think Roman Harper, Thomas Dakud, and Antoine Cason, I think they're going to be fine because they still got that front seven. So I think Carolina 11-5. I think this will be the first year that they go back to back, and I look for Kelvin Benjamin seriously to really compete for Rookie of the Year this year. I think he's going to have a big season because Cam Newton's going to be looking at him in the end zone every time they're in the red zone. So 11-5. That's what I got. I might come back on here and give a more in-depth preview of the team, but game-by-game picks, 11-5. Carolina's going to be in every game, and what did they do last year? They won all the close games. Cam Newton learned how to win, so I got Carolina going 11-5. Just keep pounding on my Panthers fans. If you ain't a Panthers fan, I don't know what to say to you.